welcome back. I feel like a little kid in this table. You know, I promised you guys that I was going to show you guys how I made these displays. There's a little box on it. Look how fancy it is. Look at that. Look at that. Sold nothing, so I'm not really interested in selling them. So I'm going to tell you guys how to make your own. I did sell a few, but not too many. And you know what? This channel is about showing you guys how, you know, it's about learning. It's about learning. So from my failures, I am going to show you how to make these for yourself. They're really cool. A lot of people were really interested in them. And so I went mass producing them, went crazy, different designs. I tried, this was my very first design here. See, this is my first design here. But you can see here, it's this thing here is really fat, and I didn't like that. So then I cleaned it up some, and then I went with the smaller, little thinner one. And this is flush here. So I'm going to tell you guys how to make one of these. It's so stupid simple, right? It's so stupid simple. Oh, check out my shirt. Look at this. Life at 33 and 1/3 RPM. If you're interested in any of these t-shirts, I don't sell them, but they sent me one. It's a company here in Canada. I'll put a link down below. It's pretty good quality shirt. I like it. So welcome to my cooking channel. So we're getting ready to do some cooking. So things that you're going to need. You're going to need some wood glue. Yeah, some wood glue. Look at that. Wood glue, wood glue, wood glue. Right? What else are we going to need? We're going to need measuring tape. We need measuring tape. See, I'm not used to telling people how to make things because I usually just do it. You're going to need a wet cloth. Anyhow, let's get to it. So you probably just want to know the measurements. So I'm just going to pick one. This one is complete. This one's complete. So where the heck is my measure? Here's my measuring tape. Okay. So I made a few of these that they weren't wide enough, and what was happening when I put the record on, they were actually tipping over because they're too heavy. So this is probably the only measurement that is very important to you: the height and the depth. Depth? Yes, I think it's depth. So the deepness of these are 2 inches and 3/4. 2 inches and 3/4. The height is 3/4 an inch. So this particular one here is 6 inches and 3/8 long. Okay? You can make them in all kinds of different lengths that you want. It doesn't really matter. So you can have scrap wood, right? And then you cut these little things here. And I use a table saw for these. These are 7/8 inch tall. 7/8 inch tall. And then based on how long these are, you might want to leave 1/8 of an inch on either side of them, and then you're just going to glue it on here like this. So we're going to get glue on that. Here comes the glue. Yummy, yummy glue. I do nothing with nails at all. Nothing gets done with nails. It turns out glue is stronger than nails. And then you want to put it all on it completely. Don't worry about if you get it on the edges, because that's where the wet cloth comes in play. And then you're just going to put her on here like this. And I eyeball a lot of my stuff. Then you get these little clamps. These little clamps. It's easier to get them to kind of the height that you need right away. Otherwise you're clamping forever. Trying to clamp forever. And as you're squeezing down, some glue is probably going to smear out there.
is that. Here is one with this already dried. Now glue, if you get the right glue, they can dry pretty fast. So here's one with it already on. It's pretty sturdy. So for this next step, you're going to need good old records. All right, now it's very important with this because you don't want these things to tip over. Where's my piece? Where's my piece? Here's my piece. So this one's a little bit different. It's got a pretty pointy top here. That's what I use to treat this once we're all done. Normally I don't treat them beforehand. This must have been just a spare part. So then you just glue this on. And the measurements for this particular one, we don't have to set this right away, so I can tell you the measurements. You can do these in any height that you want. All right, so one on here, so this one here is 1 1/8 inch wide by 7/8 inch deep and 2.5 inch tall. But this one's not that. But it doesn't really matter because I'll show you why it doesn't matter. So you just set it on there and try to center it so we go, each one of my pieces of wood, like I said, are different lengths. So this one here is 7th and 7 1/4 inch. And we just want to, so that's 2.5 inches that way. A little bit more than 2.5 inches. There we go. So you just want to even it into the center. This is just eyeballing it. This is where the records come in place. Where are my records? All right. This is where my records come in place. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the records sit back and not forward and not too far forward. So what I'm doing is make my records lean back a little bit. So my records are leaning back a little bit. I don't want them to lean back too far. So that's about it. And this is actually a triple album because I got a double album and I got a single album because you never know what size records you're going to have. So now that that is in place, you can hold it for a few seconds till the glue grabs. And you see how you got the glue smeared and all that? No big deal, no biggie deal. There, that's pretty well it, but I want to clamp it. But before I clamp it, that's where the wet rag comes in. What you want to do is get rid of all that glue that is there, because if you keep that glue there, you're going to have to sand it off later, and who wants to sand if you don't have to, right? You might not get it all off, and you might have to sand it a little bit. You see how the nice darkness is coming out of that? That will dry, allow that to dry. So I got most of that glue off. And then I just take a big clamp, ginormous clamp. I got these at Princess Auto, if anyone's wondering, here in Canada. Very cheap. Everyone has a cheap hardware store wherever they're at, right? Princess Auto for us, I don't know if they're in the States or not, I don't know. But for us, they're really cheap. And just put a little bit down to hold that in place. There, she's held in place. And you can see how it still pushed out some more glue. Now, I can just get rid of that glue. I'm using my wife's face cloth. She's going to kick my butt. Is she looking? So as that's drying, we'll put that over there. Here's one that's done, but it still has some saw marks on here. And I don't like that because once I treat it, it's going to show up. So I use some fine sandpaper, 400 grit, just a little piece is all I need. And then just clean this up a little bit. The type of wood that I'm using here is ash, but it's thermal wood. And it makes the wood really, really, really dark. All right. But it's a hardwood, but after it's treated, it's really soft. For working with, that is. It's really soft for working with. Give me another piece of sandpaper. Give me another piece of sandpaper. I'm really picky when I do my sanding. I want to get maybe she wears sunglasses or something. All right, we're ready for the magic. Ready for the magic. We're ready for the magic. And you know what? I am so tired of using clear coat stuff and paint brushes and all that. I have been treating all my stuff with this amazing product. This is not a promotional thing. I'm telling you, it's just good stuff that I get my hands on. And it's from TriArt Audio. And this is hemp oil and beeswax. They make it themselves. It's amazing stuff. And all you do is just smear it on and let it dry. It takes a long time for it actually to completely cure. Curing is 30 days to fully cure. But I'm telling you, you don't really feel any greasiness after your first treatment anyhow. It just gets better over time, and it's natural. It's really good stuff. I like working with it. Use any kind of cloth to put this on. I just got a piece of felt here, right? And you just get a bunch on your rag and watch this magic. Watch this. You see that? Look how nice that is. That comes out so beautiful once it's on. This is amazing. Look how beautiful that comes out. It brings everything all out. So I'm going to show you something here. We'll get a close-up of this. Now, normally I wouldn't use felt because it just leaves stuff behind. Use a microfiber cloth. Very good. This was just something sitting next to me as I'm doing this filming. So right now, and it smells really good. I like the smell of it. So right now it's all treated and it's going to dry for a few minutes. But 30 minutes it'll dry and this wood will soak it up. Now this is why I want to show you. If you don't get all of the glue off, look very closely here. Do you see right there? I don't know if the camera can see it, but there we go. Right there, it didn't really get treated all that well. Over here, you can see that it did. See, there we go. All right. Now you can wait for half an hour for that to cure. Here's another style that I did too, but the reason I did not like this one was this was too fat and it did not, the record didn't sit all that great and it fell over and stuff. I like it being really tall so the record sits in there really nice and it doesn't pop out like this one did. So this is garbage. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So I believe I gave you all the measurements on how to do these. You can try different things. Try making bamboo ones. When you're making bamboo, you see this is double here. I glued 2 pieces together, and this will make probably, I can make 3 if I cut them this way. So we got a bamboo one, and this one is thermal ash one. So then you shine it up nice and good, get all the excess off, buff it up really good. You want to make sure you get everything off and it's buffed really good before you start using it, because you don't want any of this to get on any of your jackets of your records. That is how you make a record holder. So you're not throwing your records on top of your record player or your turntable cover and scratching it up. So thank you guys for watching. I told you I was going to show you, planning my next video. I'm actually working on my next video, but I want to throw this one in so that you guys had the information. Until next time, keep spinning.